Welcome to Freezer Milk Podcast. I'm your host, Bridget, along with my husband, Chris. Podcast where we talk about the comedic side and serious side of parenting, life, and relationships. We are boy parents. We have two boys, Enzo and Rhett, with about a 6-year age gap between the two. You can check out our website, freezermilk.com. Also, feel free to follow us on Instagram at Freezer Milk Podcast. Thanks and hope you enjoy. Welcome back.
Welcome back, everybody.
Another exciting week.
Yeah, it's been fantastic.
What's made it so fantastic?
That we don't have a nanny.
That's not fantastic.
We got our pool finished, finally, so we've been in the pool every day, so that's fantastic. Spent a lot of time there. Rhett likes it. He got a floaty he hates.
He does hate his floaty with a passion. He also tries to drown himself all the time.
Yeah, it's amazing when you can use your backyard because it's, it being an extension of your home, you want to be able to use it, and we haven't been able to use it because it's been all dirt. Now we have a pool. So we've been in every... I went this morning, we went earlier, I'll probably go later tonight.
I feel like we're using it 3 times a day right now.
I feel like we're always in the pool. That's good though.
That's what we wanted. And they finished it, Friday?
Yeah. Yeah, it's been nice. Really, really, really nice. Really grateful for that. We've had 2 weeks here of no nanny.
She's on vacation.
She's on vacation.
Good for her.
It has been eye-opening, to say the least. It's been exhausting.
We desperately need her.
Yes, we desperately need her. It's been exhausting. We're trying to work full-time jobs and try and take care of a 17-month-old at home. Yeah. And we do what we call split shifts. So in the morning, Bridget sends me her schedule for the day, her calendar for work. And we
talk about what your meetings are and mine are. And
yeah, because really that's what we do. We split shifts. I'll do 2 hours in the morning, 3 hours in the morning. Then you go do meetings for 2 hours, and then we alternate and back and forth. We
both love when he takes a nap. We're like, yay!
Yeah, we're so excited for that morning nap because we get 2 hours where we're like, yes, I can cram and try and get as much freaking work as I possibly can done.
Someone at work was like, hey, do you want to schedule a 2-hour meeting for tomorrow or Thursday? I was like, not really, no. I was like, I'm going to be real honest. I don't have my nanny this week, so no. Next week would be great, though.
Right. So we've just had to kind of adapt. And
he's also going through a mental leap right now.
Oh, man.
And then I had dairy on accident.
You did have dairy on accident.
And it's wrecking his stomach.
Not used to it.
So it's trifecta.
Yeah, it's been a lot. It's, I came out today and he was sitting on our kitchen table, on top of it, trying to get the flowers on top of the kitchen table.
He wasn't there when you came out. He climbed up there. It's not like he was unattended.
No, he
climbed up there while you were out here.
Yeah, I was out here, but I was doing other shit and I wasn't paying attention. So, yes, he was unattended. And he climbed up on the kitchen table. We were just talking about, the fact that me and Bridget have always complained that, Enzo's not interested in anything, really, other than what he's interested in. He's not interested.
He's not outdoorsy.
He's not outdoorsy. He doesn't exploring.
I've always said he was an easy baby, though. He was very chill.
Yeah.
Red is not.
No. He's not one to go out and just explore and, play in the dirt and, and we always were like, why doesn't Enzo ever want to do this stuff? We were always kind of frustrated and annoyed by it. And now we've got this baby that is all about the dirt, the rocks, the plants, the pool, the this, the that. He is
He'll
so
stand
fascinated.
At the door and be like, out,
yeah,
out,
he yells out in the morning when we haven't had our coffee, trying to go outside. So I just open up the door like he's a puppy and let him go roam around in the backyard.
Luckily, it's pretty safe. The pool is completely gated away, and the yard is gated.
But I think it's just fascinating because...
Oh my gosh, he's obsessed with the dirt recently.
I know. He keeps moving dirt around. Oh, he dropped his rice cake in the dirt today and kept eating it. It was covered in sand. I finally pulled it from him because it was all the sand and dirt was all over his face. I'm like, oh my God.
Probably didn't help his stomach.
No, probably not. So it's been a whirlwind, to be honest with you. And I'm looking forward to his nanny coming back and helping.
Yeah.
I know we both need a reprieve.
Yeah.
It's only Tuesday, too.
I'm off work Friday, so.
Yeah, well.
At least we only have 2 more work days to get through. We got this. I do miss her, though. I think Rhett really misses her. Like,
oh yeah, he is so used to having somebody that gets down on the floor with him, constantly plays, reads books, does what he wants to do, and me and you sit up at our island on our laptops trying to work while we're trying to watch him, and he sits there and squawks at you from the ground, and he's just not happy that we're doing whatever we're doing and we're not paying attention to him.
He's like, "What the heck? Y'all are ignoring me."
So it's. We're almost there.
And then for the 90% of the time chaos, 10% of the time adorable. What was the 10% today?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's true. We were laying on the couch. I had just given him a bath. He finally calmed down a little bit. I think he was feeling a little bit better. And he had snuggled up to you while we were watching one of his movies. And he got really lovey-dovey. And when he normally does that, he wants kisses. So...
Or he's willing to give kisses.
And this is just, not what he normally does during the day because he's so excited about everything else that's going on.
Climbing on the table.
Licking the walls and whatever else he does.
Eating drywall.
Oh, child. So, but yeah, we were sitting on the couch and he was all lovey-dovey and wanting kisses. And like that, 30 seconds of him doing that made the last 2 weeks kind of just...
It's so crazy how much it just, like, wipes the slate. I was like, he was being real lovey-dovey. And I was like, hey, we were telling him, like, hey, it's time to go night-night. And I was like, can I have a kiss? And he, like, looked at me with, like, just pure love and, like, leaned in and gave me a kiss. And I was like, aw, thanks, bud. And I was like, you want to give Dada a kiss? And he kind of looked at you and you said, like, hey, can I have a good night kiss? And he looked at you and, like, stood up and, like, threw himself at you.
He is a lover, for sure.
Oh, gosh, yes.
But it's... I commend the parents that are, that stay at home and have kids full time because it is exhausting. It's a lot of work trying to maintain a household and take care of a kid, and it's just a lot. It's a lot.
I cried in the pantry today.
Yeah? Elaborate.
Oh, Rhett he's going through it with his mental leap right now, and just, I don't think his stomach feels great. He's just struggling. Today was probably the worst of the last, like, week and a half so far. And he just wants to nurse all the time. Like, it's a comfort thing. It's not nutrition. I want to nurse on the right, and I want to nurse on the left, and then I want to nurse on the right, and I want to nurse on the left for, like, 30 seconds to 5 minutes on each side. But if I put the other side away, the world has ended. And, like, full meltdowns. Or he'll, like, want to, like, twiddle a nipple while he's nursing. And I'm like, this does not feel great. Like, I'm pregnant. My nipples are sensitive. I don't want this. Like, please stop. This is exhausting. Like, I am so touched out right now from you constantly just wanting. I can't be out here at all in the living room or the kitchen without him wanting to nurse and wanting to have my boobs available to him. And so I needed to make him lunch because it was, a little bit later for his lunchtime. And I get up from, holding him and loses his fucking mind. Just full toddler meltdown, like hysterical. I think 2 minutes into it, he didn't even understand anymore why he was upset. He was just beyond upset at that point, like on the ground, screaming and crying. I'm trying to make lunch. He's like freaking out that he can't eat right this second. The moment I got up to make lunch, he wanted to be in a high chair and have the food. And I'm like, it's not ready yet, And eventually, like, I yelled at him and I was like, dude, it's not fucking ready. You need to wait. And then I, like, got super mom guilt that I, like, yelled at him. And he's obviously, like, going through something. And I felt just, like, way overwhelmed emotionally. Like, man, like, I can't get my kid to calm down about this without picking him up and popping a boob in his mouth. Like, why can't I? And to make matters worse, like, my kid is emotionally distressed right now, and I just snapped at him instead of being, like, empathetic and, like, hey, like, we're making it, it'll be ready in a couple of minutes, like, let me hold you and snuggle you and remind you that you're safe and you're loved. Like, no, none of that. In the moment, I just snapped at him, and I just started crying, and I was like, I just need like 2 seconds. So I like walked into our pantry and just like had a quick sob. And of course he's losing his mind while I'm in there outside the pantry door and panicked and freaked out. And you eventually come out because he'd been crying for a while, and I was out of the pantry at this point. And I just looked at you and I just was like, I think you just knew, like, she needs a minute or two. And so, like, you, like, finished doing the lunch stuff, and, like, I just walked to our bedroom and just laid down for, like, 5 minutes and was like, I just need to compose myself. It's the guilt that I think that gets me really tough. Is, like, in the moment, I'm really mad that, like, dude, I can't make the microwave go any faster. I can't make the food cool down any quicker. Like, what do you want me to do? I'm getting it for you. You just have to wait literally like 2 minutes.
I don't think he understands those concepts yet, though.
He doesn't, and that's where I get mad at myself and like guilty at myself. Is I'm like,
well, he kept like I was frustrated because he got it from both ends today. Because I was frustrated because the house was dirty and the floors were dirty, and I get frustrated because he's a kid and he throws shit everywhere, all over the floor. So I got the vacuum out and started vacuuming. He kept unplugging my vacuum. And he got yelled at for that, and he got a little spank. You know, and immediately after I did it, I was like, I was like dad guilt. Like, I was like,
You're like, I know spanking doesn't have its benefits.
No, exactly. And, you know, I just felt terrible about it. But I mean, I get it. We can't be the only ones going through and dealing with this kind of stuff. It's just.
And luckily, we were outside tonight. And what did we hear? From around the neighborhood.
Oh, yeah, our neighbor was yelling at their 2-year-old. Just fucking, I'm like, we were in the pool. Were we in the pool? I think we were in the pool.
You were brushing the pool.
I was brushing the pool, and the neighbor was yelling at his 2-year-old right next door, and I'm like, I'm so glad I'm not the only one. But I know where you're coming from, and I understand the frustration.
There's another kid like a couple yards away that was like, she's a little bit older, but she was like screaming at her mom, you know. She's probably like 4 or 5, like, I hate you. Like, just full scream, multiple yards away.
It's Tuesday. It must have been
like,
one of those days.
Right? I was like, it's got to be a full moon or something. Something's in retrograde or something. Because all the kids are wild today. But it's those moments. And that, you know, we always talk about, like, that's what started this podcast for us, was realizing, like, we need an outlet to vent it, and we need other people to realize you're not alone in this.
Yeah, absolutely.
In your stress and your frustration and your OMG moments, nope, not alone.
It's everybody. I mean, it's daily. It's the grind. It's what we do. But again, you get those moments where these kids are amazing. So
Enzo's been doing pretty good with the swimming. He's pretty excited about the pool.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised. He actually swims pretty well.
Yeah, he gets a little excited, and so he forgets to, like, calm his breathing down.
Yeah, so he drinks the water.
So then he, like, inhales water because he's, like, rapid breathing.
Yeah, he's a special one.
It's amazing to think about a year and a half ago, the kid was petrified to get in the water and clung to the swim instructor, like, tried to climb onto his shoulders, basically, almost. Because it was only a year and a half ago we put him in swim lessons again.
That's right. I remember anytime I took him into the pool, he would, like, claw me. Like, almost like if you put, like, a dog that hasn't been in the pool.
Yeah.
Like, he would just claw the shit out of you. And I'm like, dude, like, relax. But now he loves the water. He's bobbing up and down. I mean, our pool's perfect for kids, I think. Because it's not deep. It's not a diving pool. It's not overwhelmingly large. It's just a good pool.
Mm-hmm. The shape of it helps because you can get from one side to the other
pretty quickly.
Yeah. We got him some. What'd you order him?
A dive ring set with a bunch of different dive rings and stuff like that.
He was asking, like, is it going to be here when I get back from my dad's?
Oh, was he?
I think he's really excited for it.
Yeah.
I think he told his dad too, because his dad was telling me today that he, like, really likes dive rings, and I was like, yeah, we ordered some.
Nice.
So that's exciting. It's interesting. It still shocks me, even though it shouldn't, how much Rhett is different when Enzo's here.
Yeah.
And how much, like...
Yeah, I think I would agree with that, but I think the first day that we pick him up from our week-long run, like, Rhett is so excited, ready to have Enzo, but by that 7th day, I think Rhett's, like...
Burnout.
Yeah, burnout. The nostalgia's rubbed off. He's ready for a break. He just needs... And maybe that was it. I mean, today was his first day without Enzo. Enzo's not around to keep him occupied because Enzo went to school yesterday.
Oh, yeah?
So, I mean, I don't know. If that really is messing with him psychologically, it could be. I don't know.
Yeah. It is probably tough because he's transitioning on weekends right now, so...
Yeah.
Rick goes from, like, I had Enzo all day, and then I don't have him, and he's gone for a week.
Good.
It's
fun to watch them play, though.
Are you just loving the fact that Enzo is getting so much older and so much more mature, and, you know, like we talked about last week, how he had made you a sandwich because you're hangry, and then, like, this, you know, this weekend, he, like, made Rhett chicken nuggets for Rhett's lunch.
Yep.
Like, he took it upon himself to, like, want to help out, and, like, you know, he's like, I'll get Rhett lunch, and we're like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, he really wants to be helpful and help out. He still doesn't really understand what to do most of the time, but
yeah,
you just give him direction. He just follows it, does it, and
I thought it was so cute, though. Yeah. I was like, man, you're getting so grown. It's crazy to think, like, a couple years ago, you were a wild toddler yourself.
Right.
Throwing hissy fits and
keeping us up,
los favoritos.
Keeping us up all night long with his night terrors.
Oh man!
And the kid gets he's constantly he has really bad growing pains.
Yeah.
And I feel so bad for him, but there's not he scares the shit out of me. Like, I will be sleeping, dead sleep. Our room's dark, and he'll come up right behind me and just say my name. And I am passed
He's
out.
Like right next to you.
Right next to my ear.
Cree.
He goes, Cree. And I'm like, terrified.
Because he's so quiet. You don't hear him open the door. He's like a fucking ninja.
And then he's right on my fucking, oh God, it's terrifying.
It's not like he like opens the door and like yells your name from the door. It's like the whisper 2 inches from your face.
Oh, and then and then the next morning he tries to tell me he sees apparitions, and I'm like, oh fuck, here we go.
If there's an apparition in your room when I open the door, I'm like, are you sure it just wasn't the light reflection?
It is dark.
You know, we have like the smoke detector, the light blinks.
Right.
So there's a lot of new things to see in our room at nighttime. There's an apparition in your room, guys. I'm like, well, you know, it's probably, you know, your dead sister or something like that. His aunt protecting us, checking in on us. They just blow it off like no big deal.
It's just amazing. They go through these seasons. They go through these phases. Every childhood is just a series of phases. Mm-hmm. And Enzo is at a phase where he's kind of annoying, but he's getting to be more helpful, and you know he's doing good in school and stuff like that, and he's getting a little bit more. Well, I don't want to say insubordinate, but I want to say he's starting to question, or you know, kind of clap back at us, like when we ask him to do something. Mm-hmm. But he ends up doing it. He forgets a lot.
He does.
He forgets a lot. Rhett is at a place where he is not knowing what he's feeling, and
I feel like we are slowly transitioning into the weeks with Enzo are easier than the weeks without him.
Yeah, because he's here to entertain his brother.
He helps out with Rhett a lot right now. In the last couple of weeks, he's transitioned more into being really helpful with Rhett. And I think Rhett is transitioning into more of toddler big emotions.
Yeah.
And so I feel like we look forward to the week when Enzo's here, in addition to just having him, also having like Rhett has somebody else.
Yeah, somebody else to fucking go hang out with instead of just us all the time. Constantly. Yeah, but Enzo gets to a point where he gets bored too, and he's constantly wanting something from us. Like, hey, what can I do? Like, well, go find something to do. Why do I have to entertain? You know?
Yeah.
The pool's helped with that a little bit, though.
It really has.
So.
I'm excited about that for sure. Just drop the phone, why don't you? Mm. What else been going on this week?
We busy with work and
had a midwife appointment.
Okay.
I think pregnancy's tough.
Yeah, you kind of elaborate on some of the things you were feeling. You had a meltdown because I was gone.
It was Friday. You're picking up Enzo.
Yeah, I was picking up Enzo from school, and you had scared me a little bit.
Yeah, like I went to pee and I wiped and there was like some light spotting, like pink lemonade color.
And she's had two miscarriages.
Yeah, with having, this baby be a double rainbow, so we had 2 miscarriages between Rhett and this pregnancy. The miscarriages, with Rhett, we had bleeding during pregnancy, but it was subchorionic hemorrhage, and that is like bright red from the start.
Open wound.
Yes. Whereas with the miscarriage, it starts, and we have a whole episode about it that is extremely emotional, but you can go back and find it if you would like to learn or hear more about it.
Or cry. And
have a good cry. With a miscarriage, it starts like a very light period. And then just over time and, a day or 2 days, it progressively gets worse and you eventually miscarry. And so seeing that really light pink and knowing like, they'll tell you like, oh, if you had sex earlier that day, or something like that, it could cause a little bit of spotting, just from some movement down there. But I was like, we didn't have sex this morning, the day that we had the spotting. And I was like, there's nothing in the last 12 hours that I can say, yes, like this is why this is happening. So it completely freaked me out. And I knew like I could call the midwives and, whatnot, and they would say, it's kind of a wait and see, like the chances are low, but it does happen. And having 2 previous miscarriages
doesn't help your odds.
Doesn't, help odds and doesn't help anxiety level at all.
Yeah.
And then, the panic of if that does happen, I'm far enough along where this is we go to labor and delivery, they dilate, we have to deliver the baby, like the baby's a foot long, like, this is not something marble size that passes.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of big emotions and a lot of, anxiety, and I was like, I didn't want you to come home and just be able to look at me and be like, you've been sobbing, like what the heck is going on, Bridget?
Yeah.
And so I called you, or I think I texted you and told you.
Yeah.
But it sucked, and it went away after a couple hours. Like, it just went away, and that was on Friday. And Monday, I had a midwife appointment already scheduled. And so I talked with them about it, and they listened to the heartbeat. Heartbeat was good. They pulled up the sonogram and, did a sonogram. Baby was fine. And I felt baby kicking, so I was like, okay, I know baby's fine. But with baby Avery's miscarriage, I'd started spotting like that, and I went to the ER, and baby was fine.
Yeah.
And then 2 days later, baby wasn't. And so it wasn't giving me peace of mind on Friday when I was like, okay, I can feel the baby moving. I wasn't getting peace of mind from it because I was like, it doesn't mean that in 24 or 48 hours, this will still be okay.
Yeah.
So it was just tough, and it just sucks, talk to the midwives about it, and they're like, hey, the odds are low. It could happen, but it would be a wait and see game. And if the bleeding got worse, we'd probably have you go to the emergency room to see, is it just, is it low placenta previa? Is it compromised cervix? Are these things that we can put you on bed rest or sew your cervix shut? Or are there other options if the baby's fine, but you're just bleeding? But they're unfortunately also and something that you said too, that you were trying to remind me of and help me calm down a little bit, was that bleeding is fairly common in pregnancy, and it's just not really talked about, which sucks.
Yeah.
But it is common to have random bleeding from time to time. Not excessively large amounts of bleeding, but little spotting here and there, it happens.
Yeah. It was always an emotional day. I was a little frustrated.
What were you frustrated at? Because I know when I originally told you, I
going
felt
through this again.
When I originally told you, I felt like you were frustrated that I was upset.
No, I was frustrated that we were going through it again. That I felt like there was a possibility we were going through it again.
Yeah.
So.
And being much further along, and everything that entails, and
yeah, because even the last 2 miscarriages was extremely emotional. There was.
As they should be.
Yeah.
It's
hard.
It's hard to explain And I never...
It just every one of them takes a piece of you.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't love that.
No. Definitely don't love that. It's something interesting, like, we talked about it before, but I just never really fully understood what it's like to go through it, or to, like, you know, I felt bad for people when they had a miscarriage and, you know, they had a loss and this and that, but
until you experience it on your own.
the depth of
loss and grief. I mean, you're grieving. I mean,
yeah, like, every person's different on how it impacts them, how it affects them, but the depths that grief can have through a miscarriage is just a lot more than I expected.
Yeah.
So, but baby's fine.
Everything's good. We got our pool. I'm probably gonna hang this up now because we got some skinny dipping to do.
All right, everybody. Have a good week. We'll talk to you next week.
Bye. Thanks, everybody, for listening. You can check us out at
freezermilk.com
or Instagram.
Freezer Milk Podcast.
Until next week, guys. Thanks.
Don't forget, parenting is a trip. We are all here on the journey with you together. Thanks so much for listening.